It's your girl, keeping you up with the world. Always with a smile, walking in a royal style, having convo with some interesting folks. So come hang out with your favorite host. Rockin' with Robin, rockin' with Robin, rockin' with Robin, rockin' with Robin.
Welcome to Rockin' with Robin, and I'm Robin. Stay tuned. I have a special guest this evening. You're gonna love it. I'll be right back.
Rockin' with Robin, rockin' with Robin, rockin' with Robin.
This portion of Rockin' with Robin is sponsored by PLX, Premium Life Experience. Don't just live life, experience it. We're back, Rockin' with Robin, and I have a special guest with me here this evening.
John McClung Jr.
Wonderful. Nice. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on the show today.
So glad. I've been waiting for this.
You've been waiting for
I've been waiting for this.
Have you been waiting?
Since the phone call, the email, the text, all of that. I've been waiting for this.
But my communication the bomb, isn't it?
It is awesome.
That's one thing you do is I might not be on time, but my communication is something else.
You ain't Mr. B.
So what you been doing?
Ooh, listen, to be honest, I've been kind of low key. I've been focusing on the brand.
Yes.
As you know, I am a testimony apparel.
Yes.
So I've been, really focusing on that, and as well as some other projects that I've been blessed to be a part of.
So what made you get into, well, how about this? Where does I am testimony, where does that come from?
So everybody has a story, right?
Yes, they
but
do.
you can't identify with those you are serving unless you have a story as well.
Exactly.
So mine came out of a very challenging divorce.
Wow.
And as I was going through that process, I had an opportunity to be a co-host on the show. And at the end of the show, I would say I am a testimony. And so since then, about a year later, the Lord placed in my spirit, that's your business. Bring it
That's
to
you
life.
right there.
And it's been
That's your trademark.
since 2011.
Get out of town. That is wonderful. That is
Yeah.
wonderful. Then you're
Yeah.
right though. You have to have a meaning behind what you do.
Absolutely.
So, okay, all right. So now we know about that. So tell us exactly what do you do? Like, what is your product?
Listen, the product, I always say this phrase,
Yes.
I design from the crown to the ground.
Okay.
Or from the ground to the crown.
Okay.
Either way you want to put it, right? From top to bottom. But it didn't always start out that way, right?
Yes.
When I first got into the business in 2011,
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about apparel as far as printing, any of that process. I messed up a lot of gear.
Isn't that something?
But it was necessary.
Right.
Because of my first year really wasn't about selling.
Okay.
It was about serving. So I had to learn how to really serve as far as that process. So
Yes.
understanding people's stories.
Right.
And then gradually I started to be introduced to people that could help me learn the process of the business.
Okay.
And so for my first 2 years, that's what I looked at doing. I learned the business.
Right.
And then it's been going since.
So you already had the label. You had that down pat.
I had that down.
You know, you had that down
Yeah.
pat. So
And what's crazy is when I went in to look up the name, every other name was taken, but I am a testimony.
And that's
Walking testimony. I'm a living testimony. All that was
and you
gone.
grabbed it, right?
And I knew then that it was for me to have.
It was for you to have.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Look at God. Look at God.
All over it.
Look at God.
It's a
So
bad idea.
what was your first piece that you made?
A T-shirt.
A t-shirt.
Sir,
Okay.
and it wasn't even this design. It was a totally different design when I originally started. And I had a guy, he just sent it to me. And so, you know what, I'm going to go with it. I had a little cross with somebody praying in the cross, little image, and it said, I am a testimony. It was still cool though.
Yeah.
But over the course of time, it just evolved and changed. And I knew that I was going to have a different image
Right.
over maybe a couple of periods, as though now I have probably about 25 different looks from a standpoint of designs. I just did one the other day, or two actually the other day. I got two new ones coming out, but yeah, so it's evolved, and it should since 2011. So I've been in this 14 years, 13 years.
That's nice. So you think adding spiritual belief into your work made you prosper?
Ooh, that's a great question. So here's what it looks like for me. So I've been in ministry over 50 plus years.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Born into it. I'm a preacher's kid.
Oh,
So
you're a
I've
preacher's
never
kid.
been away from it.
Right. Right.
And so when this actually was placed in my spirit to do, it made it easy because I understood what testimonies are.
Yes.
Oh my good Lord. So I had opportunity to listen and hear from both sides, like being on the counseling side as well as being on the side that actually went through some things.
Right.
So this it kind of made it easy. But still it's a great responsibility because it's way more than just the gear.
Right.
You know.
So what age bracket is the highest seller for your product?
Ooh, what age bracket? You know, that's a listen. You throwing some questions out. Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
she couldn't see. That's a good. You know what? So I did this analytics.
Okay.
You know, I went in to see exactly who the niche market was and is.
Yes.
And it's women.
Women.
45 plus.
Yeah.
That's the highest, and I understood why too.
Yes.
Because our sisters, no matter what the color, have been through some stuff.
That's right. We've been there.
So it made sense, and women purchase, especially when it's something that makes an impact on their life.
Yes.
So when they see I am a testimony, they can actually see I am a testimony, right?
And feel it.
So that's been the reason why I think women have been more attracted to it.
Yes.
Because of those things, but not to say that men don't, because they have their moments where all of us do.
Yes.
But that's been the one, 45 plus.
Yes, that's us. That's us. I wear my cap all the time. I'm in the grocery store, and people would like, and be looking, but it makes you feel good. It makes you feel spiritual. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It makes you feel like you're walking with God. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can put on Gucci or Chanel. You know what I'm saying? You feel all right. So you feel rich. But when you put on something from you, oh man, you feel so.
You know what's funny about that? What you just said is I got a phrase that says "wear your story, not your status."
That's right.
So majority of people they invest in things, and they invest in things where people don't even know who they are, right?
Exactly.
And you really wouldn't ask them about what they're wearing because it's a status thing. But because you've had people ask you
all the time,
right? So that's one of the other things about this apparel brand. It gives you the chance to share your story just based on the fact you got it on.
Right. Yeah. My son just told me when he was in school that the kids would come up behind his back and flip the back of his shirts just to see what the label is, to see, and if you got a good label, you hip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you did, you're going to get picked at, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I can believe that.
So you start off doing t-shirts. I like your sweatsuit wear now. Now, where did that come from?
Well, you have to level up. So this is a CEO suit, right? So I wanted to customize some looks that.
What's a CEO suit?
CEO is it only I got it.
Oh shit!
But it makes people ask questions, right?
Yes.
So I know that if they are asking me, man, I love that suit, or where'd you get so I get a chance to talk about it. Then I also can go back into the lab and say, okay, it's time for me to bring this one out.
Right.
Yeah. So I got about 14 different versions of this that I wear.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So do you get stopped on the street?
All the time.
All the time? What do they say? They say, I like your work.
First of all, they have never seen per se a custom faith-based apparel that is not just a jacket or a t-shirt. So, and then I got shoes to match my suits too. So it's like,
I just look down and
they look up from home. They like, wait a second, man, you do shoes too? Absolutely. So I custom design now where I didn't start that way.
Right.
I initially, again, was doing your basic stuff, your t-shirts, your hoodies, and sweat top, things like that. And then finally, I would say probably, Robin, the last 5 to 6 years, I knew that I could actually do this because of the relationships that I had built overseas.
Right.
And so I've been customizing. I promised myself I would never wear anybody else's stuff.
And you were true to the game.
And true to the game.
True to the game.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So do you make how about animals? They testimonies. You know what? Just hold that thought right there. Hold that thought right there and rock around and be right back with you.
Oh yeah.
Rockin' with Robin. Rockin' with Robin. Rockin' with Robin.
Venue Space of Atlanta. Arlo is your genie to finding the perfect venue for your special event. Whether you're looking for a mansion or Airbnb or a quaint space, Arlo is your connection. Contact Arlo on Facebook group at Venue Space of Atlanta and let your wish be her command.
You have a toothache but no insurance? No problem. Queen Care Service is the perfect solution for the uninsured or underinsured. Go to queencare.savewithdiscounthealthcare.com to get your affordable discount membership and give your teeth the care it deserves.
We're back. You're watching Rockin' with Robin, and we're here with the wonderful special guest of mine, Mr.
John McClung
Oh,
Jr., y'all.
Lord, I like that. So anyway, John, before we went on a quick break here,
Yeah.
we were talking about pets.
Yes,
Do you do pet wear too?
I do. But it's quiet. See, I have not said anything about it
Why?
because I do housewares. I do stuff for cars.
Yes.
Listen, I got like maybe 15 different categories that I can actually design for. But I do have stuff for pets.
Yeah, because pets are in right now. Everybody got pets, and you see some pet, but everything looks the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So could you imagine a little cute little label on a cute old poodle?
Customize it.
Customize it?
Customize it.
Shoot, man, please. You better call Oprah. Oprah probably buy you out. She probably want that.
Oh yeah. I do custom work. So,
You do
yeah,
custom work? So
absolutely.
what else you do? You said you do
Oh, I do stuff for cars, so I can,
Cars?
I do houseware stuff, and people don't even know I do it.
so
So I
like
can customize
plates?
your plates, your rugs, all that stuff. Yeah.
you getting
Covers for your toaster, you name it, I can do it. Yeah.
what about the fingernails? Can you do
Now, I
that?
say I haven't gotten into health and beauty. I'm gonna leave that to them.
Test them.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave
I
that
need
to
your
them.
hand there. Could you imagine? If
Yeah.
it was, I'll be
But
sitting just like this.
But I do the bracelets for that.
You do the
Yeah,
bracelets,
so it looks
okay.
good on your wrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. But you look happy.
I'm excited about what I do.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So tell us a little bit more about outside of doing all the design and everything. Like,
Absolutely.
What do you
So
enjoy doing?
I'm a chaplain, and I also am an author. I got 4 books, and I'm in
Mm.
7 as far as a collaboration, and then
Mm.
also I've published like for people like 6 or 7 books.
So what your book's about?
My last 2 books, it was my Proverbs prayer,
Okay.
31 Days of Spiritual Wisdom, which I did based on fasting.
Okay.
I asked the Lord, give me an idea or something that I should write about while I'm fasting. And
Yeah.
so I wrote a prayer out of every Proverbs chapter.
Wow.
And so it's called my Proverbs prayer. But my baby, the book that is just knocking it out the park for me, I don't even sell it a lot. I just love the fact of it. It's called Are You in the Right Garden? Recognizing Real Relationships.
Mm.
Book is amazing.
I had to get that one there.
Yeah,
That
that
sounds
book
like
is-
me.
yeah, that's the
I've
book.
been in all kind of garden things. I'm still here. I'm still.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. And where can you purchase those books?
All of the books, if you look up John McClung Jr. on Amazon, they're all
Mhm.
on Amazon.
That Amazon, something else, man.
It's been on Amazon since my first book. Everyone has been there, and all the books that I have been a collaborator in.
Right.
They're all. And the person, hey y'all, just Google my name in. No, you don't have to Google it. You can, but put it in Amazon, John McClung Jr. and all the books will come up.
So basically, Barnes and Noble is not
They
Amazon.
made no other way around. Amazon, they started out selling books before they got into all this other stuff, and they the main ones. But I think that's why everybody can go to it. But Barnes and Noble, they're brick and mortar. Yeah,
They're going like Target.
But it used to be cool because you could go in and sit down and have some coffee or hot chocolate and chill.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that.
Can't do it no more.
Times is changing. Times is changing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can buy a couple of books at Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah.
And can you tell us what books you have there so they'll know?
No, wait, let me say it this way.
Okay.
Y'all don't go to Barnes and Nobles. Go to Amazon because that's where they gonna be. Yeah, just go online and you got it down.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna try to give Barnes and Nobles some help, but they not
So
ready.
let's say somebody want to go right now and get your
Go
book.
online.
What's the first book you think they should get?
Are you in the right garden?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's that book about?
So that book is about recognizing real relationships. And the interesting thing is that book, initially, when I first started the book, I wrote 15 pages. I was in the process and I was dating my current wife. And the Lord said, stop writing until you live it out.
Right.
So for a year and a half, I did not write.
Okay.
When I went through the process, everything that I was writing about,
Right.
as soon as I sat down and started finishing the book, I finished it in 3 days.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
wrote about everything that my wife and I went through from the process of relationships, 4 levels of relationships, how to, the things that you look for, the things that you do, conversations you should have, are all in that book. And matter of fact, two of the things, two of the things that are very prevalent in this book.
Okay.
So I talk about there's only 2 soils in the world.
Right.
Mother Earth
Right.
and the woman.
Right.
All right. Only two things that can produce.
Okay.
And so since I didn't have any sisters, I'm writing to my sisters, right?
Okay.
Giving some inside secrets.
Okay.
You gotta be careful who walks on the soil.
Well, how can you pick and choose?
Oh, listen, because there's 3 different individuals, guys. I'm sharing this because that's what we are. Ladies, I'm sharing this because that's who you need to look for. It's 3 types of different guys. Now they're gonna stay, of course, there's many more.
Right.
There's a hunter,
Mhm.
there's a gardener,
Mhm.
and there's a farmer.
Okay.
Those 3.
Okay.
When a hunter come on the soil,
Mhm.
you know, nothing but destroy.
Mhm.
He kills what he's looking for on the soil, shows it off, and then leaves. Never invest in the soil.
Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Number 2, the gardener, he can invest when he wants to.
Right.
He'll go out in his backyard and maybe sow something. But if he chooses not to, because it's not his life,
Right.
then he can walk away from it a couple of years, whatever, maybe even shorter,
Okay.
and then look out the window and be weeds out there, right?
Okay.
But the farmer,
Ooh.
ladies and gentlemen,
Mm.
farmer is what you need, because what he's gonna do it year after year after year.
So what category are you?
I'm a farmer now.
You're fine.
I used to be all of them. In my youth, I was a hunter.
Yeah,
In my mid-season,
I'm a farmer.
yeah, listen, in my mid-season, I had learned how to garden and be the gardener, because every once in a while you be in a relationship that looks like a garden and you get tired because it's not working out.
Right.
Fruit ain't being bared, whatever.
So how do you knew this was the one? Come on, your wife. How do you knew this was the one?
Because everything that I needed to go through from a standpoint of all the other things that I had come out of,
Mhm.
she had it. And we developed it at the same time. So all of the things that my opposite, because men, we look for support.
Yes.
We look for someone that understands that we can work together.
Yes.
She can fill the gaps that I might be challenged in.
Okay.
And so it was several different things that I had written about in the book that I made sure, the Lord made sure that all of those things were in place. Now,
Okay.
the other thing too is a lot of people talk about looking for somebody, right? Because I'm a spiritual man, I did some research. There's no king that ever looked for a queen. They were always sent. They were either sent or given.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that whomever I was going to be with, that the Lord sent her to me,
Okay.
and that happened.
Well, see, we look at it obviously.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And Rockin, you gotta recognize real relationship based on your garden.
Yeah,
Your soil is so significant,
it is.
right?
Okay.
That if you don't know what your soil is like and what it will receive, because I tell people the parable of the soil is about relationships,
Okay.
even though it got so many different analogies to it.
Yeah.
I think there are women's soil that are rocks because they've gone through so much that they will not receive seed.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Of course.
You got one some that had the weeds because they've gone through some things they thought they were in it, then it didn't work. You got choked.
Right.
So until that 4-step process, it says, and then there was good ground.
So when I meet a guy, I got to put him in a category.
No, see that's the thing. You got to put your soil in the category.
I can put my soil in a
Your,
category.
your soil, right? So are you good ground?
All of it.
See, so now you look in, so then you don't even have to look. You just got to prepare your soil to be sent to a good farmer. Listen, y'all got to get that.
Say that again.
You got to make sure your soil
My
is
soil.
ready for a good farmer.
Get out of here. Now, where am I find a farmer at, dog?
See, that's that key word.
I got to wait for farmer to find me.
It's that
But
key
see, I ain't
word.
everybody know.
But listen, though, think about it.
What?
When you start looking for a farmer,
Mhm.
you're looking visually.
Mm.
We always look from the outside, right?
Yeah.
I recently had a friend of mine call me,
Uh-huh.
and we were talking about the relationships, right? And she blatantly told me, she said, John, the person that's interested in me is an actual farmer. I said,
Right.
keep me.
Oh.
I said, listen, see, you looking at the package. The Lord will never send you an exact package.
Right.
He will send you a gift,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Name me a gift that's always packaged right.
That's kind of hard.
You know what I'm saying? You got people that know how to put bowls. They go out and get gold packaged red. Then you got the dollar store pack, paper wrap. So it might look like a dollar store wrap, but be $1 million inside the box.
Yeah.
So we have to look at from the fact of recognizing real relationships.
Right.
Women and men know who they are. Most of us, as far as what we dealt with. Right. We know what we won't deal with, but yet we won't prepare ourselves for what we need in our life.
Because most of us, are just settling. They just taking what knocks on the door. Come on in. You know what I'm saying? And still deep down inside is unhappy.
That's not what
I got like a lot of girlfriends, I got me a new man, and I'm thinking, I'm happy for you. But then the next day, his name changed from new man to something else. So I'm looking at you were baby sweetie yesterday. What happened? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, the visual mess up.
They're just settling just just to say, but we deserve to be happy, and and take your time and try to get to know us.
It's interesting too, Robin. I bet if I sat in a room of 100 people and asked them what are the 4 levels of relationship, maybe one hand would go up. Maybe because they probably have never been asked a question in the group, and they don't even know that every time we meet people, we say, "Oh, that's my friend," but never have that person ever gone through the level of acquaintance.
No, they just need to be everything.
You know what I'm saying? So you got an acquaintance, casual, close, and intimate.
Right.
4 levels of friendship. 4 levels of relationship.
Say it again.
Acquaintance, casual, close, and intimate.
Okay.
4 levels of relationship.
Okay.
Because when you first meet somebody or somebody come in your life, they ain't your friend.
No.
They just an acquaintance because they don't know nothing about you.
Right.
Right? We ain't had that conversation. You might be passing by them, and that's it. They're acquaintance. They might be in and out, and that's the season gone. Right? If you got somebody who's casual, they get the chance to hang out with you a little more. They might know about your likes, maybe some of your dislikes, but you haven't even got them to the family yet. Right? You know what I'm saying? They don't even know your kids' names. They just casual.
So tell me, what do you think about when a woman has a man to marry her? How do you feel about that?
So I'm spiritually historical, y'all.
Has it ever happened before?
No.
Okay.
I won't let that happen.
Okay, so what
I need to be in place, for.
Is it a man thing?
It's a man thing. See, if a woman positions herself, and y'all can get mad at you if you want, you've never been created to go out and find anything.
Right.
Like no man.
Right.
That's not what you were built for.
Right.
You were brought in to be support and fill in gaps, just like Adam. Adam didn't go out and look for him. The Lord brought Eve to him so that he wouldn't be by himself, right? So for a woman to position herself to go ask a man, will you marry me, is way out of position.
But it's how we feel. It's 2025. Things have changed now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not like we're not asking you to not release yourself from your duties as being a man. It's just how we feel within our soul. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you could be a brother, go to work, provide for us and the kids and everything. We fine with that. But what's wrong with us, speaking?
Name me any woman biblically historical that asked a king to marry.
I saw a couple on social media.
It's never been happening. It's never happened.
See, and how we talk about things start to happen. So you gonna come, Robin, I just saw this on social media. This girl was on. I see some girls with their hands and knees and everything. But you know what? We're gonna hold on for a minute. We're gonna be right back.
Rockin' with Robin. Rockin' with Robin. Rockin' with Robin.
She gave him her heart. He gave her his pain. Caronda Hines shares with the world of the price she paid in the name of love in Volume 3 of the all-female collaboration book series, A Love Story. Get your copy now at carondahines.com.
If you would like to be a guest on Rockin' with Robin or become a sponsor, email rockinwithrobin2@gmail.com. Welcome back to Rockin' with Robin, and I'm Robin, and I'm here with my special guest,
John McClung Jr.
Hey, John, I like the way you say that, like we're on show. So, John, tell me some of your challenges, the challenges that you had. I know you've been going through some divorce and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
So, how do you balance that?
Listen, me being the owner of I'm a Testimony, right? Mm-hmm. My challenges was I didn't ever think that I would ever get a divorce. Because I didn't see that in my family, my family, my mother, father, my uncles, all, everybody been married for, 40, 50, 40, 50 years. My parents were married 41 years before my father passed.
Right.
My mother never remarried. So that was another 20 some odd years later. So really they were married 60 years as far as I'm concerned.
That's a
right?
long time.
So for me to go through that process on several occasions, I'm like, man, am I choosing them bad, or is it me?
Right.
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 So I had to go through the reflecting and making sure from a position standpoint that I was in place. That my choices were they that bad, and
Right.
knowing that I don't have to go through this. So I think that it gave me an opportunity not only to learn more about myself,
Yes.
but also position myself to be able to help other men
Right.
who were going through that
So,
process.
did you change, what did you change about? What did you see? What was wrong with what you were doing?
I left home at 18, so I missed out on a lot of information from my father.
Right.
And one of the things that I began to do is go back to the basic things that I knew that I was getting away from. I had no business running the streets. I had no business going to clubs and doing all that. That's not how I came up. And so finding people in the wrong spaces
Yes.
will cause some issues.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to go back to the fact of put yourself where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Be in the mindset you're supposed to be in.
Right.
And above all things, don't do anything outside of what God has chosen for you to do.
Exactly.
Right? The will and purpose. And so that, as I began to kind of like begin to align that and come back, to where as the prodigal sons, my senses, that really was a difference for me, because the mindset of knowing there are choices I don't have to make, for sure. Many of us, we don't, right?
Right.
And sometimes we'll get in something because it look good, it feel good, all that feeling and emotion, So, for me, I just had to get the grips to not be arrogant.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
That's a
not being
big
arrogant.
word.
Yes.
From a point of, there's confidence and arrogance, and people, don't look at the word arrogant based on attitude. It is part of that. But there are arrogance from a standpoint of not doing something right because you think you know it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Or not being in a situation because you think you can change it.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
that's arrogance, because you can't change nobody.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
You got to be the example you're going to be, and maybe they will follow. And if you think everybody gonna follow you, that's arrogance too, because everybody ain't gonna follow you. It feels good. It sounds good, but even when you're doing the right thing,
Right.
evil is ever present. And
Yeah,
but you know how when people be hating on you when you're doing something good.
Well, that's just our society today.
Yeah.
It's just such a. So, out of all three of your sons, which one is more like you?
My son is more like me.
More like you.
Yeah, because that's my DNA.
That's
See, the
your
other
DNA.
ones are not my DNA.
Uh-huh.
My son
Uh,
is just like
it's just like
yeah.
you.
And well, let me say, his name is Jonathan, so he's just like Jonathan.
Yeah.
But we have so many things that are unique to each other
Yes.
because of him being a part of my life from his birth
Right.
till adulthood,
Right.
and having the opportunity to ask me anything,
Yes.
especially those things that were of a negative source
So
because
you
of
think
it.
we're lacking in the men community? You think they're lacking of having good communications with their sons?
Let me tell you something. First person I ever seen cry was my father.
Right.
In the pulpit, he was just emotional about helping people,
Right.
and that changed my life because I knew I could cry.
It was
And
okay.
think about all the men who have never ever seen another man cry
Yeah.
or cried themselves
Yeah.
because they thought it was something that was
Girl.
bad and all that. And even to the point where some people, let's say ladies, y'all might even speak to the man, why you crying? You all soft. No.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say men who do not have a father in the house,
Right.
a mentor, somebody, uncle, whatever, coach, whatever it might be, that is pouring into their lives,
Mhm.
are depleted of so many different emotions, minds, body, soul, spirit, that they're not familiar to,
Mhm.
that has issues in their adulthood.
Mm.
Because think about it, women are really dealing with individuals who never grew up.
Right. Right.
And they didn't grow up because they didn't have anybody to bring them through that process
Right.
that looked like them.
Right.
Women have done an amazing job of sharing from the other side.
Right.
This is how don't let nobody treat you like this and all that. Don't
Yes.
treat a girl like. But what about not hearing it from a guy who actually is doing the right thing?
Right. Right.
It's a different voice.
Yeah, because like when I had with my son, when he got a certain age, I could teach my son how to respect a woman, pay bills, cook, all that. But I could not teach my son how to be a man.
At all.
I don't care what you do, what you say. I didn't have that niche. I tried, but it was blocking me. It was, and I couldn't. So I had to send it to his father.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Good or bad. He got to be under that wing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was well needed. He needed that in order to make him a better man. You know, it hurt, but I had to do what I had to do.
You got to pull the emotions away because y'all want to.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, girls and men. You know what I'm saying?
And you're like, wait a second, I play.
Emotional on their face and everything. You know what I'm saying? So
That's the soft part.
You can't teach them. You can't teach a man how. You can't do it. You gotta let him go. You gotta let him go. And you know, and that's what some of we have to learn how to do. Is that
So very
man on
interesting.
man is a total different ballgame.
Because there are certain things that I can say to my son because of the things that I've done to the devil that his mom could never say.
No.
Right? It will come differently because there's also the impact of respect. Listen, if you've been in your child's life, especially your sons, and I'm
Yes.
the guy that's speaking to y'all and the sons, that there's a different respect if you're doing it right.
Right.
So my son never seen me do crazy out the box stuff.
Yes.
He's seen me go through some things.
Yes.
But then that conversation is about, let me show you how to avoid this.
Right. Right.
From a man's point of view, some of the things you might deal with. Let me share with you how to overcome that because
Yes.
I went through it, right?
Yes.
So that is totally different than the mom holding the hands and baby, let me tell you that. No, it's a different voice.
It is. You sure got that right. You sure got that right.
Yeah.
And on the books basically have what me and you talking about.
True. Yeah. I wrote a book called Love Muscle. It was relationships from a preacher's man, from a preacher's kid mind. And it was all the things that my father, because that mind is something else in relationship. It was all the things that my father would share with my brother and I that he wouldn't necessarily talk about in congregation to the church, right? So we got a chance to get the inside track on the counseling part of it.
Right.
The guys and stories we hear that we are actually using today.
So he kept it separate.
Listen, we got the inside track. And that's one of the beauties of. And it's not all, but
Right.
that's one of the beauties of a man that truly walks with God and has time to invest in his kids. And he had all sons. So my brother and I were a year and a day apart. So for the first 15 years, he and I were under my father's tutelage.
Right.
And we see all of the fruits of that labor right now.
Shucks. He was a brainy. He's still living?
No, he passed in 2000, but he's still living.
He's still living.
You know what I'm saying? Because people see us and they think, man, your dad is still living through y'all because we're doing what he did.
That's right. Boy, oh boy.
And I can see something else.
Ain't it something? And I look just like my mother. I look.
See,
That's
like,
not
it's
like
still
the
going.
mirror sometimes because
Yeah.
I look just like her, and I tell her, you can take whatever you want from me, but you cannot take this.
Can't take the DNA.
You can't take that away,
No.
But anyway, Tom, I enjoyed you so
They're
much.
great.
I know so much about you today.
Yeah.
I mean, when I
Appreciate
look on Instagram and social media, I said, that seemed like a nice man right there. Now I got to sit down here.
Absolutely. Listen, we've been supporting each other and cheering and all that from a distance, but that's been great.
Yes. I enjoy it. It's a
Oh,
blessing.
to
It's
say
a
the least,
blessing.
to
Yes,
say the
yes,
least.
yes. So before we go real quick, tell everybody where they can reach you.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna say 2 ways that would be best. First of all, you can just look up John McClung Jr. Even if you Google it, a whole bunch of stuff will come up. And then also anything that has to do with I Am a Testimony apparel, I will come up. So all social media, Instagram is I Am a Testimony. My TikTok is Mr. I Am a Testimony. I think, and my Facebook, I got the Facebook page as well as John McClung Jr. So any of that will connect you with me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well said. Okay, everyone. Thank you for watching Rockin' with Robin. I'm Robin, and I enjoyed you. Everyone have a good week, and I'll see you back here next Wednesday. Good night.
Rockin' with Robin. Rockin' with Robin. It's your girl. It's your girl. Keeping you up with the world. Always with a smile. Walking in her own style. Having convo with some interesting folks. So come hang out with your favorite host.